No weed vibe, no wine vibe, just good vibe.
Okay, welcome to Live Set to Speak, everyone. George once again, and today we have a very special person, Gabby. What's the other name again?
What do you mean? You know, Zalari.
Okay, Zalari. Yeah. I don't know that name so much. I don't even know where it came from.
He refused to rate my name, but it's okay.
Oh, it's your name now, is it?
Yeah, it is. It was always my name. What are you talking about?
I bet if you say so. Okay. Yeah. So she's come today to Yap. Yeah.
Obviously, that's my thing. That's my specialty.
She talks
talking
hella. She talks hella. But okay, before we get out of topic, today we're gonna be talking about what again?
Relationships, but specifically like opening up.
Why do y'all not open up, man?
Yeah,
it's not that complicated.
What's that about? No, but even you, do you open up? Look at you busy like acting everyone.
Nah, it's not about me today, is it?
It is though.
Okay.
It's about all of us and all of our problems.
If you say so.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into the deep stuff, because I know that's why you're here. You like the deep stuff, yeah? The bad brains.
Please stop. My God.
First, I have a question for you, yeah?
Yes.
What's your song of the moment right now? Like the song that gets you going right now?
The song that gets me going right now, now I'm kind of like thinking about how I was in the shower today and I always listen to music in the shower. And low-key, 777 by Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic. I totally forgot about that song. But that song is literally the best thing. If you ever need to just get hyped up, literally the best thing ever.
777.
Have you heard this? Have you heard their EP?
Nah.
Like, the what's it called? Something opened the door. How am I forgetting this song? You know that famous Bruno Mars song?
Okay, the only famous Bruno Mars song that I know is 24K Magic.
Okay, no, but like the most recent one, Leave the Door Open. Oh my gosh,
days, that's what you were looking for.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. That was like part of the EP. And like every other song is literally kind of like same vibe.
Yeah.
Or anyway, just listen to it.
I should get onto it.
Yeah. And
Mine. Okay, quite lately I've been into Afro. I'm a piano actually. And I think I'll go with Asibe Happy by Kabza the Small. You probably you know it if you listen to it.
Yeah, I don't know the names.
Because the funny thing about Amapiano, they all have like, I don't know if they sound the same. To me they don't, but people say they do sound the same, so it's kind of hard to differentiate. But that one, I think you will know it.
Yeah, probably I will. I never know names of anything. Like I can sing the whole like all the lyrics, but I'll never know who sang it or what the name of the song is.
I can see you struggle to get your 777 song.
Bro, exactly. Like Bruno Mars, how did I forget that? But anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
Right now, what's your artist of the moment?
Artist of the moment, for me, it's Tate McRae. Just because like she's such a she knows the art, like her writing, her melodies, like everything, like it just it just comes together and everything's. I feel pressured to like say like an African artist or a black artist or like R&B artist, and like I love R&B music. I love it so much. Like if I could name 1,000,001, like, but honestly, Tate McRae, for like the season, she's just like my person.
Where's she from?
She's from Canada. She's from Calgary, I believe. That's like Alberta.
Yeah,
I think it's so. Right above.
I mean, I'm not good.
BC.
I'm not that good with my geography, but I think she's good. She's from that's where Calgary is.
Right above BC. I think. Do you even know where BC is? Like on the map.
Okay, I just know it's far from where I am right now.
The other side.
Yeah, I know it's on the other side. Yeah, I just know it's far from where I am right now.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where it is, but I know it's far from where I am right now. What else?
What else? I feel like we should get into it.
Yeah? Alright. I don't know if they're ready, but yeah. You want to go first?
Sure. I mean, there's so many things you can talk about when it comes to the fear of opening up, because I feel like, at least me personally, I can understand why someone would choose not to talk about the stuff that they go through, just because we're in a day and age where it's like, especially not even a day and age, like it's not just the time that we're in, but kids our age, like they're so funny with these things. Like, I don't know, I've seen at least so many situations where, have you ever been in a situation where you tell someone something like in confidence, and then as soon as they get angry at you, they use that thing against you, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah, that happens a lot quiet these days, because there's like a lot of, I don't want to say, what's the word? Is it being hypocrite? I don't know if that's the word, but like people tend to I think they tend to be like that fear, the fear of opening up about something, and then the next day that's used against you, and now you start feeling like it's a, type of a judgmental situation, and you're like, yo, why did I do that actually? But people tend to have a lot of holdbacks because of that specific, excuse. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if I can tell you something knowing one day you're gonna end up like it's gonna backfire right in my face because of what I told you, then yeah, I see where they come from. Well, not they, because it happens to me personally.
It happens
as well.
to everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
But one thing that I live by is that, like, if I tell you something and it goes back, like, you just either you use it against me, or like you somehow betray my trust, then I know that you're someone that shouldn't be in my life in the first place. So because like everyone in my like close friends knows this, I'm a very like deep emotional person. Like I like having those conversations with people. So it's like, if I have that conversation with you and you're just the type of person who can't handle it or responds in like very negative, childish ways, then I know like you're not supposed to be in my life. So it's almost like I'm glad when people have those reactions, because then I'm like, okay, great, like one less fake person out of my life,
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's just the way I like to think about it. But when you talk about judgment, I think that's the big problem. That's the biggest problem when it comes to opening up.
Judgment as well.
Yeah.
Because like, one huge thing as well about the whole thing is like, if I bring it to you, it's easier to talk about it when it's not like they're not your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier for somebody to quickly take action or judge when it's not. They're not. They're not the one going through that stuff. Because it's like, I don't even know the example I can come up with right now. But if I bring up a problem to you, it's going to be easier for me to be like, why did you do this? Without even finding out, like, you shouldn't have done this, without even finding out why I did this. You know?
I feel like a controversial one, low-key, is that like, when like that friend comes to you and they've given their ex a second chance, and you know exactly what that ex did to them, and you're like, genuinely, what are you thinking
why did
right
you
now?
do that?
But like, you fail to put yourself in their shoes and be like, okay, why are you doing, like, why are you actually like, I want to know, like why do you actually want to go back, like, like, it's putting yourself in the shoes of someone else. And that's something that I've tried to do as often as possible, is like, anytime someone tells me something and I'm just like, what are you even genuinely saying right now, I'm just like, okay, wait, I need to properly understand where they're coming from right now. Because if you don't, and then it just creates this atmosphere where I don't know, where you just feel so emotionally insecure, like emotionally you don't feel safe emotionally.
Insecurity is a whole different thing right now.
Okay, that's a whole different thing.
Is actually a whole different
but that
thing.
is what it is, like, being emotionally vulnerable is an insecurity for a lot of people.
Would you say, is it the same for boys and girls?
I mean, this is something I want to ask you, because I feel like I was about to say my channel as if it's YouTube, but on my podcast, a lot of the times I talk about guys, but in a way that, like, I feel like I can never properly, like, I'm always quick to say that, like, obviously this is coming from a girl, because I never know your perspective or how you guys think or what it's like, especially with, like, I don't know, toxic masculinity or feeling pressure to open up when you don't want to, and like, I don't know if that's like a toxic masculinity thing, or if you guys want, like, genuinely just don't care to open up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, for guys, well, let me not talk for the guys, because I feel like guys go through a lot of stuff, not as an excuse, but they go through a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of pressure on the guys, in the sense that, because when you grow up, you're told, like, okay, you're the man, you're not meant to cry, you're not meant to open up about this, just toughen up, take it in, and all that's gonna be fine. And it also gets to that point where it feels like talking about it or opening up about it becomes like a taboo, or becomes like a bad thing for a guy to do, because at the end of the day, that's what you grew up and that's what you grew up knowing. And I think that should change, because in order for a guy to be able to open up, he's accepting vulnerability first, which goes a long way, because me being vulnerable, is I don't want to say
it's looked down upon.
It's looked down upon,
like you're weak or something.
Exactly, because it's like, you're the guy, like, dude, just toughen up. Why are you telling me about this? Which like, it's not a bad thing, but at the end of the day, personally, for the guys, a lot of people, and that's what causes, like, a lot of guys to, like, you find, like, men generally statistically. Oh, what's the word? What's the word? Statistically,
Yes.
statistically, yeah. Guys tend to there's more male deaths, like suicide, those type of things, and all that starts from like opening up. Because guys we keep a lot of things inside of us that at the end of the day, it's crazy. It's crazy because you turn to fight with yourself more than you're actually even fighting with people or whoever caused whatever situation you found yourself in. Because you're like, nah, I'm not gonna talk to them. Because it also starts from like, if I have an issue with somebody, let's just say a girl.
Yeah.
Because let's say a girl, and at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go question her like, okay, why'd you do this? I'm just gonna keep quiet about it.
Yeah.
Because originally, that's.
It's what you like, the way your brain has been wired.
Exactly. That's
respond.
That's how your brain has been wired to respond. Because first of all, they're gonna be like, okay, it's a girl, man. It's a girl. Just let it slide, And it's the same with guys as well. Because if you see how guys resolve their issues with each other, it's different from the way girls resolve their issues with each other.
Definitely, yeah.
Because it's like with girls, there's a lot of drama. There's gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you about this. I'm not gonna do this about this, like.
Actually, I feel like it's different.
Yeah?
Because I feel like with girls, like, yes, I wouldn't say, like, maybe, there's a lot of drama and tension, but it's because we're aware of the emotions that are involved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, guys, at least from the outside looking in, it looks like you guys just brush it off. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for us, like, I don't want to, like, speak, like, one, I don't know, person who does the same thing, but... Like for us, I think it's more common to like you're upset and you know why you're upset and you're vocal about why you're upset, and that's I guess where the drama comes from.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you've expressed your emotions, whether it's in a productive way or a bit of a messy way, you've expressed your emotions. So it's like if you ever get to a point where you do move on and you do like make it out of whatever argument you have and then you become friends again, it's like you're able to do it in a genuine manner because like you didn't just ignore everything that happened, you know what I mean? Because all those emotions were exposed in the first place.
Yeah.
Whereas with guys, it feels like you guys are just like friends one day and you just like forget about it and try not to talk about whatever happened.
Yeah, that's where it comes from, because two guys can have a fight like one day and next morning you see this guys, what am I even saying, like the same day, couple hours later you find them playing probably ball together, doing something together. It's
literally.
like nothing ever happened. But trust me, whoever was the victim of whatever happened
is feeling it.
He's feeling it, but he's just keeping it in. It's like, nah, I'm gonna keep it cool. Yeah, it's my boy and all that. I'm gonna keep it cool. But at the same time, it's eating him up, and it's gonna get to a point where he's gonna break down, but not towards whoever's caused that, because there's a lot going on. He's gonna just pile it up in him. Like the next day somebody else does something, he just piles it up in him, and then one day he's gonna break down, not towards anyone. Still, he's gonna break down like on himself. He's just gonna shut down and just be on his own, be on his ones and all that. And
my question is though,
Yeah.
here's my question, is that like, I understand that it's hard for you to be the person to express what is going on, but in situations where you're presented the opportunity to actually talk about it, why don't you talk about it? Because like for me, like once again, like I'm the annoying person who will be like, guys, let's talk about our emotions. How's everyone doing?
With a wide smile on the face.
Like I just love like making sure everyone's emotionally secure. But sometimes like I feel like it's definitely changed over time with my guy friends. But at the start there was this like huge ass wall where like I couldn't like
you wouldn't talk about
like
it,
even though I'm like, yo man, like I understand like maybe you don't trust me, maybe whatever, but if you need to talk, just know I'm here. But like you'd never, like it's very hard to accept that help, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're gonna talk about stuff, but then you're gonna put a boundary or a limit to whatever you're gonna tell the person. Okay, let me speak for myself, because like we talked about being vulnerable here, and it's not like I feel vulnerable about anything, but I feel like guys.
What do you mean?
Okay, it's not like I feel vulnerable about telling you what happened.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I feel like for a guy, it's like, on the other hand, he's been wired to be problem solver.
I get that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, if I'm bringing my problem to you, it's not like I want you to solve it. So it's kind of like, it becomes kind of like pointless for me to come talk about it, or because there are people who actually do feel vulnerable, guys that actually do feel vulnerable or feel like they're gonna get judged and all that. But there are others who don't think about that, but they think about it in the sense that they're known to be problem solvers.
Yeah.
And when they bring a problem up that they can solve, it becomes, it becomes like a weak point on their end. And I don't know.
I guess it's something that runs so much deeper than it being fixed like in one conversation. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but in past relationships, at least, like, have you had struggles with being open or being vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable? Like, if anything is going on, if you're going through something, like, you feel safe to be able to talk about it in the relationship.
I mean, I think personally for me, I'm quite open, personally, I'm quite open, and I'll talk about anything. I'll say it the way it makes me feel, like the way I'll tell you how it is. I'll tell you how I feel exactly. But true, sometimes there's some things you're not going to want to talk about, probably because for a guy as well, it's fear of how the other person is going to end up feeling about what you tell them. There's certain stuff I'm going to want to tell you. Like, I don't want to hide it from you, but at the same time, I'm going to be like, okay, if I tell you this, you're going to feel this way, this is going to change, this is going to happen. But I feel like that's also something that everyone does, like both girls, and because, I'm assuming, that if you have something and, you don't want to talk about it, but still, you don't want to hide it from that person. But at the same time, you're being considerate. You're like, if I tell this person this, they're going to feel this way. They're probably going to change the way they view me. Like, it's assumptions we shouldn't make, because at the end of the day, you're keeping all that stuff in you, and it's going to pile up, and one day they're still going to find out.
They're still going to find out.
They're still going to find out.
Rather sooner than later, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's going to be like, okay, it didn't come from you. It came, from a whole random... But that's something to talk more about, though.
Wouldn't you rather that wasn't the case? Do you get what I mean? Like, wouldn't you rather, like, obviously, in, like, your head, you're thinking, okay, like, this and this could happen if I talk about my emotions. It could change, like, the dynamic of our relationship. It could change X, Y, and Z. But do you ever, like, if you don't want that to be the case, why don't you just go for it?
Because, like, at the same time...
Because how do you break the cycle if you don't go for it? You get what I mean?
Yeah, because, like, at the same time, if I'm given the chance or the opportunity to open up about it, you still feel the need not to put that burden on the other person.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, because like, okay, I'm like normally, protector, provider, and
so you're basically stereotypical man in a relationship.
No, not stereotypical.
Not stereotypical, but you get what I mean.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I don't want my stuff to be, part of your burden.
Your stuff.
Yeah.
But isn't that what a relationship is?
That's what it should be. But at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I don't want her to have to worry about me. You get, in that sense that, okay, she has to bring up a solution. But at the end of the day, it's something that should actually, like, if you view it in a whole different, from a whole different point of view, it's like, okay, if I, problem, when they say a problem shared is a problem solved kind of thing. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's something that should be talked about more, because if you open up probably to that one person, because already if you're in a relationship with someone, then they should be worthy of, like, have access to certain information.
I feel like you have to enter a relationship with someone. That's the start. Basically, that's the start.
Yeah.
If you've already entered a relationship with someone that you cannot find, like, emotional security with, then what are you doing in that relationship? I mean, obviously the thing is, it's something that you can also work on and build. But, like, one of my biggest things is that, like, don't enter a relationship with someone that you can't see being able to meet the needs that you need them to meet.
Without being, I don't want to use the word judgmental again, but without changing the way they view you, of course. Because if I'm telling you stuff, I expect you to react a certain way, but at the same time, know exactly why I did what I did or why what happened. Not giving room for stupid stuff, like silly whatever. But
what do you mean?
Like, I'm not just gonna do rubbish and bring it up to you and be like, nah, I expect her to understand.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, you get. So at the same time, it should be like stuff,
Yeah.
For you, what is, like, what stops you from opening up?
Me, what stops me from opening up is someone who can't, or someone who isn't emotionally mature. I've been, not been with, but like I've been in situations where there are people who aren't able to understand that like a partnership is not just like, you know, rainbows and happiness all the time.
I like the word partnership, by the way.
Anyway,
Yeah.
your partnership like isn't this happy like thing all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like when you bring up something that's disturbing you, they kind of take it as like, oh my gosh, like what's this big thing? Everything's going, problems have come, like I have to run. And you're just like, but dog, do you think you're genuine? Like if this was to go far, do you think we're gonna be like in love for the rest of our lives if we can't even have conversations like this? Like, do you genuinely think it's gonna last if we can't even have conversations like this? So I think for me, it's like as soon as I get the vibe that you're not emotionally mature and you're not able to have like real grown-up conversations about the things that you're going through, the things that I'm going through, and especially the things that we bother each other. Like if there's something I'm doing that disturbs you and you can't bring it up to me, and it's this thing of like, you know, when tension is building up, can't exactly figure out what's going on, but it's just because they don't want to tell you this one thing, you know,
and you can feel that there's something they're not telling you.
Exactly. Like I just don't like that communicate, because now I won't feel safe to tell you anything if you don't feel safe to tell me anything, you know. It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. Exactly.
So I think that's how it is for me. That's the only reason, that's one reason why I wouldn't feel safe bringing it.
But like personally, let's say put it like relationship out of the table, just you and yourself,
me and myself,
like opening up even to a close friend, whoever, about any random stuff.
I think like what would make it hard,
because you know, like you have, let's say something happens, I don't know how deep it could be, but something serious, it's something like, you know, we have to handle like right now, and you need a solution. And you're not in a relationship, let's say, and you know, because you're not just gonna, because you've been through it and you're like, okay, there's nothing I can do right now, but you know, talking helps. So why would you feel the need not to even bother talking about it if you could, you know?
That's a good question. I feel like, at least for me, in past times, the reasons why I wouldn't talk about it is because at least I used to be in this like toxic cycle of like, once again, thinking that I'm a burden. So I wouldn't talk about it because I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to ruin everyone's days. I don't want to, it's not even about the relationship. It's about like feeling like I don't want to be that friend who's constantly bringing up all these emotional things that you feel like now you have to be my therapist, you know? But it's funny because I'm willing to be like my friend's therapist if they want. Like, it's so funny. Like, I encourage my friends to talk, but when it comes to me, I'm like zero.
You don't want to be like one of those ones where when they see your message, they're like, what problem?
They're like, this one again. Like, what's going on? So I guess that would be a reason why I wouldn't talk about it. But also a reason, and this is a really big thing that I feel like I want everyone to deep right now, because when you feel the need to talk about something, like immediately after it happens, you haven't sat with it long enough. You need to like sit with it and let it like. You need to understand what exactly is going on, because sometimes when something happens and there's a lot of emotion there, and like, I'm not saying it's wrong to like go and talk to a friend, or wrong to you know, run to someone and just be like, oh my god, this is happening, and just vent. But at the same time, it's like, if you don't take time to actually understand why is this affecting me, what is going on like inside my head, then it's like, when you go and have you ever told someone something and then you're just like, oh man, I shouldn't have done not because of that person, just because you're like, oh wait, did I even like,
you didn't think about it.
Exactly. So I think that's also another reason why I wouldn't tell someone like what's going on in my life right now.
What would you do? Like, what do you do? You know, because obviously we still talk about being like wanting to open up and all, but there's definitely times where you feel like you're done. You know,
like I'm done talking.
Like, you don't want to talk at all. Like, what do you do? Because
you know, when something is going on so much that now you're just done talking.
Now you're just done talking.
But it still hurts.
It still hurts.
Whoa, that's me right now, bro. That's me right now. But I feel like in those moments, I'm just like, the thing is, I'm such a big person on when it comes to things like I feel like it's cringe, but whatever. Things like
Nah.
journaling and like, you know,
Yeah.
praying and meditating and stuff like that. Just because like,
Praying is a good one.
yeah, it's a good one because like it gives you that talk therapy without having to talk to anyone about it, because
Yeah.
you're able to think about it in a way that allows you to really analyze what's going
Eyes
on in your
closed.
head, you know?
Yeah.
Just literally having to force yourself to sit with your emotions, sit with your thoughts, sit with everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps you come to peace or come to terms with whatever is disturbing you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I think that's me right now. It's like in moments where like I'm tired of talking about this thing. I feel like I'm talking about it too much, but it's still hurting me, and like I feel like I'm like at a roadblock. I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, maybe I just need to go on this journey
Reset.
myself.
You're done.
Like I need to just, you know, just go back to square one.
I was just telling a friend the other day, like, I feel like I'm at the point where I'm done with everything, like drama, talking, and everything. Like, I'm literally at the point where, by the way, it's been long since I cried. So I was telling him, like, yo, I'm at the point where you literally just step on my shoe right now. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm just gonna sit down and start crying.
And crying, yo. I can relate. I can relate.
You know how you're having such a good day and someone just steps on your shoe and they look at you and they're like, oh, my bad. I'm just gonna be like, dude, like, yeah, I know you're sorry. You didn't mean to, but
Are you okay?
yeah. But they haven't asked me that question in a time, but I think I'm okay.
You think you're okay?
Yeah, I think.
You think?
I think
Okay.
I'm okay.
I mean, that's
should
good
be.
enough.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I'm one, like, you know, it's so funny because I feel like we think we're supposed to be happy most of the time. Yeah, like we think we're supposed to be happy most of the time. And sometimes we forget that like being sad and being angry and having all these negative emotions are literally large chunk of your life, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like when you're in a state of like you really just don't know what's going on, you feel like you're down all the time. I feel like it's also, I don't know, I literally just recorded an episode last night talking about this, of how like there's something so human and something so beautiful about just feeling the emotions you're feeling, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like if you're angry, be angry. If you're sad, be sad.
True,
And like there's
true.
something so humanly beautiful
It's
about
normal.
that. Exactly. So
It's normal.
it feels less of like, oh my god, I'm in a crisis and I'm going to, you know, have to fly away and disappear.
If you have to cry, man. You have
Cry,
to sleep.
bro. Sleep, bro.
Because I didn't think about it in that sense. Because just the other day I was talking to someone still, and it's like, you know, because out of all the options I got, I was like, okay, what do you do when you're pissed? Yeah. Then I'm like, dude, I literally, because music, like, okay, I don't know if it's a new thing, but I do listen to a lot of music. So I just put on my earphones and that literally gets me completely out of the world. And I was just talking about it and this person was like, dude, there's many other things you can do, you know? And it was like, okay, because we had already ruled out music. Praying, we talked about it, we ruled it out. What else? Crying, ruled it out. People cry a lot. Yeah. And they were like, dude, just go for a walk, man. You know how you leave your phone at home?
Yeah, just
everything.
detach from the world.
Detach from the world. Just
Yeah.
go for a walk. I don't know, you can do something while you're walking, like count the houses, count the cars.
I do those
Like
things.
for couple minutes, and you literally, and I tried it because one thing as well that also I think fear of opening up also comes from social media as well, which is a whole different topic.
That's a whole different topic.
Yeah, but it also comes from social media because you know how when you see a lot of things happening up and like, dude, this guy didn't even open up and this happened to him, what if I open up about it? And it becomes like, I don't know if it's a cycle about things that happen. Yeah. Because then you tend to relate a lot of things that happen in your life to that certain situation and that time. Because it's like,
and how that person reacted to
how
that
did that
thing.
person react?
So what right do I have to
exactly.
be acting like everything's going wrong in my life, you know?
Because it's gonna be like, yo, if that happened to them, dude, mine could be like 2 times worse, 3 times worse, and you turn to like want to compare with this other person that you don't even know, and that brings up a lot of like, you know.
Yeah, that's actually such a huge thing because I feel like it's so common to like suppress all your emotions just because you're like, okay, well, this person went through X, Y, and Z, and they're still living life. They're still like going strong. They're still there being their best person.
Yeah.
So what right do I have to be crying right now? And then you just suck all of that
Like,
in, and you're just like, you know what? Let's be a hard guy.
Nah, let's be hard.
Like, we've got it. It's okay. Let's move on.
We're not gonna talk about
it. It's such a bad, like, what's the word? Damaging thing to do.
Yeah,
because,
especially personally.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, it's funny because for me, it's almost the opposite of like, at least for girls, it's like we do this thing. Well, at least on social media, it's more common to share your problems, like share what struggles you have, like if it's like mental illness, stuff like that. Like it's so common to hear about that kind of stuff, right? And I love our generation for creating that kind of energy around, like, you know, because you know, you feel like more human. But at the same time, it's also like, because we're so bombarded with, not bombarded, but because we're in this era where everyone's talking about their emotions, it's like, it's almost like it becomes, I hate saying this, but it becomes a trend. To the point where, like, at least I felt this personally.
But you're not wrong, though.
Where it's like, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to seem like I'm making it a trend. You know what I mean? So it's like, now I'm just like, it's also that thing again of like, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to seem like I'm over talking about this and making it a thing just because now it's the thing that everyone can talk about, you know?
But you know, funny thing is, there are people who use that trend as an outlet, you know, because it's gonna be like, this person did this, so I'm gonna do exactly what they did. You know, it becomes like not only a one-time thing, but they turn to carry on, and they're like,
in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a good way, but when you look at it like long term, it's not really, because personally, at the end of the day, you're still not getting it out there, man.
Okay, but I guess the thing is, now we have to define. What it means to like actually let out your emotions, because it's so different for different people. Like I remember I was talking to, I won't say his name, but like I don't know if you cut it out. Can I say his name when you cut it out? But you know, so I was talking to him, and then I remember how he was saying that his thing is the gym. So, and I was just like, what do you mean the gym? And he's the type of person to not be emotional whatsoever, you know? And I was actually having a genuine conversation with this guy, trying to understand a world in which you really don't have to talk about your emotions or talk about everything. So I was like, then he was like, his outlet is going to the gym. So I was like, okay, but if it works for him, who am I to say that's not the way to let out your emotions? Do you get what I mean? Maybe that genuinely actually works for him, you know? So it's like, it's that thing again of like, also understanding that like, maybe, I don't know, just because this person does it this way doesn't mean they're not doing it the right way. And just because this person does it this way doesn't mean that that's necessarily going to work for you. So I guess there are different ways of expressing emotions. For me personally, I believe in expressing it in like 50,000 different ways. Anyway, I'm an emotional babe, bro. I like talking about emotions, but I like what's the word? Express my emotions in like many different ways. I feel like that's the best way to get it out, you know? I don't know.
Okay, I have this one here. What's your take on therapy?
Therapy? To be honest, I feel like I'm biased because my mom is a psychologist, she's a therapist. I think personally, I love therapy. Like, I don't actively go to therapy, but I think if it's an opportunity to talk to someone, especially someone who isn't connected to your world, about the things that are going on in your life, it's almost easier because you know this person has nothing to do with your life. They
don't know exactly who you're talking about, what you're talking about. They're just there to listen. Exactly.
So there's so many times, and this is when I understood why therapy works, is like there's so many times I'll meet someone and I'll meet them for one day and tell me why they know my life story better than my friends. Just because like they're a random stranger and I've told them things that I could never tell my friends. Or not could never tell my friends, but just things that I haven't told my friends, you know? So it's almost like with a stranger, it's so much easier to open up. And that's why I feel like therapy is so important, because it separates like because sometimes when you connect your problems with the people around you, you associate your problems with the people around you, you know? So sometimes you need that separation of talking to someone
that distinguishment.
Else. I don't know. What do you think?
For me, I have one rule for therapy. It only works when you're ready to open up. Because I'm going to use myself as an example here, I did therapy high school, high school. When I was in high school, I did therapy because I was going through hella.
Is this like...
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know. Damn.
I was going through hella.
Damn. Okay.
I was going through hella, and you know, not only with school, but like family, you know, life and all that. And I was like, you know how we do it. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to anyone. You know, I'm just gonna, because I mean, like you right now, you wouldn't know, because you know, I had a smile on my face every single day.
Bro. I thought you're the happiest person on earth.
Yeah, and I'll be like, but let me tell you something. My BP went up to like 300 while I was at the clinic.
Yeah, do you know? You told me that. Yeah. Actually, you did. Yeah.
My BP went up to like 300 because like everybody thought, okay, it was like school, but it was.
Didn't you do some kind of like medical tests on your heart?
I did everything. I went to the hospital and everything. Okay, I don't want to say I knew exactly what was going on. But I refuse to believe that's why, you know, because physically I was fine. I went to the hospital and everything. Yeah. And they checked my heart rate. Everything was fine. The doctor was like, dude, you're good to play football. And funny thing is, like, while I'm sleeping, heart rate, everything is normal. The second I wake up and I start thinking about issues, like I wake up at 6:04. 6:05, my BP is already at 200, from 100 to 200, just like that. Because I had like a monitor on me all the time, like during vacation. Because there was a trip I didn't even go to because of that, and it was like a whole bunch of things. And we sat down and we're like trying to figure out what's going on. And you know, my dad tells me like, yo, if it's schoolwork, just put it aside. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry too much about it. If it's schoolwork that's making you stress, man, like, you know, just pass. Just try your best to pass. Don't worry about the A stars and all that. I'm like, dude, me at the start, that was the plan.
That's okay.
Like, that's been the plan from scratch, you know? Yeah. Then they were like, all right, why don't you try therapy? And bear in mind, I did the therapy at school. And first few weeks it was like, because I didn't want to go, because you know, normally when you grow, you know, therapy, I don't want to put it this way, but I'm going to just put it, they'll tell you like therapy is for people that are not okay in the head. You know
that's
those,
I hate that.
You know those things where they tell you like therapy is like when you go through therapy,
it's like when you've reached that point of insanity, that's when you go to therapy. That's when you go so dumb.
Then I was like, okay, that's what I was thinking at first. Then I'm like, okay, because it got to a point where I had to be forced to go, you know, and be like, dude, you have to go therapy like twice a week. She had to see me like twice a week. Then at some point, you know, I was like, you know what? Because the first 2 weeks, I refused to sign the paper because I was like, it's pointless. Because you know, there's a paper they give you, and
I didn't know.
Yeah, like an NDA, like
NDA.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna talk about anything.
Oh, how old were you?
I don't know. I think 18.
Okay, I think 18? When I first went to therapy, I was a kid, so maybe I didn't have to. Sign it. Okay, when you sign the paper, the only thing they can talk about to probably your parents is like if you plan on killing yourself, suicide and all that. But every other personal thing, she told me like, yo, look, it's just between me and you. In fact, if you want, you tell me the names. By the time you're going out the door, I don't remember, because I mean the point she told me was fair, because she's like, I see a ton of people in a week, and everybody comes in here telling me about problems they've had, about people. I can't remember any of the stories. Like, the point of this therapy is just for you to talk about it and forget. Because you know, it's easier to forget about it once you've talked about it. Because let's say if you break a glass, until you tell your mom you broke that glass, you're not gonna stop thinking about it. Yeah, it's gonna eat you inside.
It's gonna eat you inside. It's like, she's gonna find out. One day she's gonna count the glasses and she's gonna find out.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? Let's actually give it a try. And I came one day and I was like, all right, what's the paper? Signed the paper. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna tell you everything. And I sat down there, like I did therapy one day, sat down there, spoke to her. We even went past my time because I had the last session of the day.
Right.
Went past my time, we spoke, finished, and we even, like, she was leaving because after me, that was it. She was done for the day, closed the office and everything, said byes, and that was the last day I did therapy.
Really?
I went to check my BP, dropped significantly by like 150.
Exactly. Talking just does wonders. Like, people are...
You know, and the nurse was like, dude, what did you do?
What did you do?
Like, what happened? And till then, I couldn't tell her I went to therapy.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't.
What, you were embarrassed?
I don't know, probably, but I couldn't tell her I went to therapy. I just told her, like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't even know I went to therapy, and I was like, in my inner self, if somebody came and asked me, like, yo, what do you think about that? I'd be like, dude, therapy is not going to work if you don't want to talk about it. Because, look, I did 3 weeks of therapy, and it only took 1 week. Which was the last week for it to work.
When you actually tried.
Exactly, because the first 2 weeks I was just sitting there and I'm like, all right, when she asks me questions, I just answer. You know, like what are they called again? What is the type of answer called? I forgotten the name. Like one word answers, like okay,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just that I didn't like give her sentences and all. But when I decided to start talking, because I wanted her to stop bugging me, and at the end of the day, I realized that actually worked,
Yeah.
and it went a long way. And I'm like,
That's so crazy because I literally didn't know any of this. Like I genuinely, in my head, George is the most like happy guy. Literally, like if anyone knows George, the most happiest guy, just talking to everyone.
I'm sure majority of the people hearing this are actually gonna be like, "Oh, damn, that actually."
Even me, I'm in shock, bro. I'm like, "What do you mean you went okay?"
Because like a lot happened, a lot happened, and that happens not only to me, but like a lot of people do go through that stuff, and you realize because people are like, normally what I do is I cry. Like I'm just assuming, people will be like, okay, I cry, I'll sleep. But guess what? When you cry, when you're done crying, you're still gonna think about it.
Exactly. Like it's still gonna. Do you
wake
know?
up,
No, do you know the saddest thing? This is one thing I can't do is sleep when I'm upset, because when I wake up, that sadness is a different kind of sadness, dog. Like it feels like a sadness that never leaves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that sounds so deep, but like. I have to figure it out before I go to bed. If I cry myself to sleep and I wake up the next morning, it would be bad.
The morning starts bad.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like that's also a rule that friendships should keep and all that. Like if you're used to talking to someone, never go to bed when you're mad with them.
Yeah, isn't that thing like of like couples, like never go to bed angry at each other?
Yeah, don't go to bed angry at each other.
That's bad, yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know if it's dramatic, but I don't know if it's dramatic. Dramatic is not the word, but it's like, it's true.
Do you speak like 3 languages, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mix them up sometimes.
Yeah,
I mix them up sometimes.
Like my mom. She makes the same mistakes that you make. I think it's like a French thing.
I don't know if I've carried words from French and used them in English. Then once I finish talking to the person, I'm like, oh, they didn't realize that was a French word.
Yeah.
Because you speak fast, and it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you just get the point of what they're trying to say without even actually focusing on what
exactly
saying.
is being said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it for today. We're gonna end here. Thanks for coming, Gabby.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that's it. And peace out. Thanks for listening. See you on the next episode.